Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Backstage Spotlight. We're on season 2, which is absolutely mad to me, which is episode 52 in the grand scheme of things, but this is season 2, episode 2. So, this episode, we're welcoming Tara. Hello, Tara.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. Are you?
I am great. So, this is a very exciting episode because we actually went to college together. I think was I
We
in
did.
first year when you were in third year?
Yes. Yeah, 2 years have blown me. So yeah,
And you've actually come back and taught me, which is
I
hilarious.
did.
It's great. So let's just go back to the beginning for you. Did you always know that you liked being on stage, like performing?
Absolutely. Yeah. Did dancing since I was three, at my local dance school, all the ISTD exams, shows, festivals. Like I was such a festival kid. So all my half terms were filled with competitions and pantomimes at Christmas. So I literally did it always growing up. And then got to the end of school and was like, I was, very into my academics, but I wanted to go straight to dance college. I wasn't interested in doing anything else. So yeah, I went to Lane at 16 and all started from there.
Amazing. Do you have like a standout competition routine that you used to do? Like, what was your favorite?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, Well, one of the because I did the Dance World Cup like towards the end of my competitions, and I did a 42nd Street tap and song and dance quartet with some of my best friends. So that was like really sweet, and we took that there. And I also just one popped into my head. I did like a Rhapsody in Blue tap solo. I did
Oh,
like all the song and dances from the musicals as well, which is yeah, really nice.
lovely. So nice. So you said you went to Lane at 16. Did you like how did you find going at 16? Because I know that the debate nowadays is like, do you wait till you're 18? Like, what do you do for those 2 years? How did it come about for you?
So I think I'm quite mature anyway. So I was ready to leave home at 16. Like I'd done quite a few residential summer schools, and like I did National Youth Ballet, which is like a good couple of weeks that you're away from home in the summer. So I'd done that before. Um, but I do think, there was still moments where I was still traveling home every weekend. In that first year, like I used to go home because home's not too far from me. And I used to work a job at home on the weekends. And I think actually that probably did worse because it kind of broke the cycle of
Yeah.
being at college and going back home. But then obviously we had COVID. So we went straight into lockdown from like February of my first year. And actually then I was then ready to go back and, moved in with my best friends from my year for second and third year. And then actually it was all a lot better. So yeah, just, had those little wobbles at the start as anyone probably would do moving away. Um, but obviously I was ready for it because I graduated at 19, went straight into a job. So for me, that didn't hinder leaving college at 19. Whereas some people, they say, oh, you'll be graduating at 19 versus 21. That might change how you get work. So yeah, for me, it was good.
Worked out. Yeah, it worked out quite
Yeah.
nicely. If in hindsight, if you knew that lockdown would have happened when you joined college, would you have waited those 2 years and gone at 18?
Wow, that's such a tough question because if I had gone 18, then I would have missed out on my first job, which was so
Yeah.
special. So it's also like, everything happens for a reason. And although, yeah, it was not ideal doing college during COVID, but it obviously served its purpose still. And yeah, got what I needed to from it.
Well,
So
yeah, you've had it, you've been lucky, so it's all, well, I say it all happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
definitely, yeah, yeah,
So
very true for that.
definitely. I was going to ask you, in lockdown, did you like learn a new skill, or were you just using all your spare time to do your classes, do your dancing?
My spare time in the first lockdown, I kid you not, I'm a huge like sunbather person. I
Me
literally
too.
we'd have the 15 minutes between the Zoom classes. I kid you not, I'd put on a bikini, run outside in the garden, sit in the garden for 10 minutes, run back in, do my next class. So I didn't learn a new skill, but I just feel like I filled my time getting a
You've
tan.
got a good tan. Stop it. That's so funny you say that because I was the exact same. I was
Yeah,
out in my garden the whole time. And why was the weather so good in like March?
no. Yeah, I've literally got pictures of my phone like sunburnt in April, and I'm like, what's going on?
I know. I
So
had the biggest tan lines. I was so proud of them, but then like nowhere to go. No,
yeah,
nowhere to like
literally.
show off your tan, which is hilarious. But I'm with you on that one. I spent my whole lockdown literally sunbathing. It,
Yeah,
the weather was so good for it.
yeah,
And it's like the only thing you could really do that was like outside, and especially when like
yeah,
us doing dance, like you don't want to exercise when you're like
yeah,
break because
definitely.
you've just been exercising all day. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I would say that's a good use of time. I don't think everyone would think that, but I'm with you. So let's talk about your first job. How was your experience with auditioning, your third year, like the agent situation? Talk to me about your experience through that, as a lot of viewers are in that limbo of having to contact agents and graduating. It's quite a daunting time.
Yeah, definitely. So third year, as you know, we have a college agency. Um, so I actually didn't have that many auditions at the start of third year, you know, when everyone's starting to get things through. I'm a tall person, so a lot of things had a height limit, and I was a bit like, oh no, I'm not getting seen for that because I'm too tall, and like, you know, went into Adam's office, the agent, and I was like, oh, do you know if there's going to be anything coming up for tall people? And he was like, well, we've got this cruise audition, which was my first audition, and that was for tall dancers. And he was like, but I've also just submitted you for Crazy for You. It's Jill Green casting it, Susan Stroman's choreographing it. It's at Chichester, like you'd be perfect. Um, but they don't often hire graduates. So we'll see, he said. And I was like, oh, okay, like that's super exciting, you know, told my mom, like I'm going in for this audition. And so yeah, these two auditions were happening at the exact same time. I was going in for the cruise, then like running from Pineapple to Dance Works to do my Crazy Few audition. And yeah, just like it went so well, and I actually got offered both, which was super exciting.
Oh my
Which is crazy when I look back, because I'm like, oh, like where would I be if I had taken the cruise and not got
goodness.
the Crazy for You? Like you never know where your life could have taken you. um so yeah, I had those two auditions in my third year, and that was literally it. Because I knew I had that coming for the summer. So I graduated early, well, left college early to do Crazy for You, still like graduated with everyone else,
Mm.
um, and left with the college agency. And then at the press night of Crazy for You, like I knew everyone else's agents from the cast would be watching. So I just sent out like a few emails and was like, hi, I'm in the show with so and so. I'm looking for representation. Like, I'd be really interested if you'd look out for me and maybe we can arrange a meeting, you know, that sort of thing. And that's how I got my agent, which I'm with now, which is Nikki, who works with 33 Artist Management. She's amazing, really, really happy with her. So yeah, that's how I got into that. And in terms of like the first job, it was just incredible. Like everyone was saying, you set the bar so high, and it was just incredible. Working with Susan Stroman, like the original creatives. You can literally watch the show on YouTube from 1992, I think it was. And it was literally like the same show that we did, and it was just incredible. Ticks all the boxes for me, like everything I would want in a show I had in front of me. And being in Chichester, which is like a beautiful place, the audiences were sold out, amazing. Like, yeah, I loved it. It was so special. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. It was really good.
Such a special opportunity. And I remember we actually got the chance to come down and see you all,
Yes, of
like a
course.
college trip, which was so good. And it was so nice to see like a fresh graduate in the show. Obviously, there's like Charlie Stemp, Ella Valentine,
Yes.
um, also Laney's. It was just so nice to have that inspiration while we were still in college, and to be able to come and see the show was fantastic. Um,
Oh,
and obviously, you then did a West End transfer.
yes, which was so exciting.
I
It was
mean,
in
how did you find out? I was going to say.
I would say it was like kind of in the pipeline from the start, like, you know, whispers being like, oh, this is going to transfer. And And then we got to the end of Chichester and we hadn't been told that it was going to transfer. And we were like, oh no, like what's going on, you know? So we finished Chichester like right at the start of September. And, you know, I went in for auditions for other things, bits and bobs. And you know, it was very quiet for a couple of months and no one had heard anything. And I was like messaging Charlie being like, oh, have you heard anything? And he was like, oh no, whatever. Turns out it was booked. He just obviously couldn't say anything. And I remember I got told from an audition that I was put on hold, and I was gutted because it was something that I really wanted to do. And they were like, "Oh, we put you on hold." I've been in like 10 times for the show, and then literally the next day, I had a phone call to say that it was transferring. And then I messaged Charlie back and was like, "You knew," and then he just sent me like a winky face. So that was super exciting, and just yeah, oh, it was incredible. And it wasn't then like till 6 months down the line, so it was a big wait for it to transfer. Um, but it's just like the best feeling when you know you have something coming up. And I've been very lucky that things have lined up for me, and I haven't really had to have that wait time. Like that was the only time really, those 2 months where I didn't know what was coming next. So I'm super lucky that yeah, that happened for me. And it was just incredible. Like I said before, I would honestly do that job again and again and again. If it had gone on tour extended, I would have stayed, because it's just so fulfilling to do a show that is so like dance heavy like that. It's really rare that you get these shows that are like built for the ensemble, and the ensemble drive the story and are featured so much. You know, it was exhausting, and I couldn't really do anything in the day. Like I couldn't do legs at the gym, I couldn't do anything because I wouldn't be able to get through the show at the night. But it was just so special and super fun, and the team were lovely, and yeah, you just get to wear these fabulous costumes as well. So yeah, and I learned so much on the job. Yeah,
I was just gonna say those costumes were insane. Like the stuff that you guys were wearing. I mean, your end costume as well on that
yeah,
podium. What a
yeah.
moment! So good. And we actually then got tickets to come and see the Gillian Lynn performance. So we were lucky that we got to see it in Chichester and then in the West End, and
Yeah,
it was so nice to come and see like that you had all been on that journey and that now it was in the West End.
yeah,
I just enjoyed it even more the second time. That show is really good. I mean, the comedy,
yeah.
the costumes, like it's
Uh,
it's so good.
yeah, I think it's unfortunately like it wasn't what people wanted in the West End. People don't really know what Craze for You is. So it did really well at Chichester with that kind of audience. But I think what the West End calls for at the moment is those like movie musicals, those classics that everyone knows, and that's also going to pull in a younger audience from social media, etc. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it'll
That's
come
so
back.
true. Maybe. It's so true that nowadays it's like jukebox musicals. I mean, Tina's doing very
Yeah,
well, Mamma Mia's doing very well. And it's all what will attract tourists, like Matilda, The
yeah,
Lion
absolutely.
King,
Yeah,
stuff like that. Stuff that's been done from films like Back to the Future, which is it's great for like the economy. But in terms of
yeah.
like the heart of musical theatre, it's a
Mhm.
shame that audiences that it's just gone a bit like down a different path for bums on seats, for audiences
Yeah,
are looking for like that sort of entertainment. But the
yeah,
classic musical
absolutely.
theatre, we all know that, it does have a place in our hearts because we know it.
Yeah.
But hopefully, it will come back at some point. What is coming recently? Oh, it's Hercules.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
exciting. But again, Disney film, bums on seats. People have seen the film. They
Yeah.
want
I
to
feel
they
like
want
that
to
will
see the
sit there
show.
for a few years.
Yeah, exactly that. Um, and at the moment, you are in The Devil Wears Prada, which again is off from a film. Tell
Yeah.
us about that show because I am dying to see it. I need to get tickets booked because I love the film. Does it live up to the film?
Absolutely. So I'll talk about the whole journey. So we've been doing this since January. What I have, the creatives have been doing it a lot longer. But we had like our first workshop in January this year. Like literally a year ago, I was auditioning for the show, so it's already been a year, and we haven't even got to press night yet.
Oh my goodness.
So we did, yeah, workshops in January to just like get the base of the script, and then do like a choreography workshop in March, And then we did Plymouth. So we did like 6 weeks, I think it was, of previews in Plymouth. So just like really exploring the show. Like even now, it evolves every day, it changes every day. They're just trying to get it right. And we have those iconic lines from the film. You know, you've got those same bits that everyone is wanting. The costumes, the story, it is the film. But there is some little tweaks in it because some things just wouldn't work on stage. Like you can't achieve some of the things that happen in the film. And also just like the way it works for a musical, if they didn't add in a little extra bit for a character, they wouldn't really be seen in Act Two. So it's like they've added their own little bits and bobs in to make the musical a musical. And although, yes, you've got these iconic characters that are in the film played by Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and you've got a musical twist on them. So they're not copying them. They're making it their own, and you know they're singing these incredible songs. So yeah, it's got its own twist on it, but it is still everything you want from the film. You will get in the show.
It sounds great. And am I right in thinking Elton John did the music?
Yes, he did, which is
Incredible.
wild.
Did because I saw on social media that there was like a showcase of the music and Elton John was there, and the snippets of the videos that they put up were just insane. I mean, though that music, I mean, it's Elton John, like,
Yeah.
come on, it's just so good. I mean, what's your favorite song in the show?
Oh, that's so hard. My favorite song to sing in the show is The Devil Wears Prada, which is like the penultimate song in Act One. And there was a little clip that they put in the promo recently of that. I love singing that, but there's also, there's such good songs that the leads sing as well. Honestly, all the music is incredible, and there's so many different styles as well. You've got your pop songs, like your classic, they really sound like Elton John songs. And then you've got some slightly operatic bits like we do in The Devil Wears Prada, and you've got your classic empty number that opens Act Two. So yeah, you've got all your bits and bobs in there, but yeah, the music is so good. And we did a little press launch where Elton was there, and we showed it to him in rehearsals earlier in the process as well. So it's super exciting. And I've got myself a little pair of Elton John sunglasses from the press launch as well, which is wild.
No way. How was it just being in the room with him?
It's unreal. Like, it's just, I can't even describe it. The celebs that get involved in this show as well, like we had 3 celebs in last night, and it's just like, you know, you're walking around like, what is my life? Ridiculous.
Yeah, I bet like if you told little you that you'd be singing to Elton John, his music,
Yeah.
I mean, I bet you'd just be like,
Yeah. Literally, I remember with the audition process, at like towards the end, I'd been in for my finals and everything, and I got an email from my agent being like, they want you to send a self-tape of you singing so that Elton John can approve you. And I was like, interesting.
oh my
So I had
goodness.
to send 2 songs that he was supposedly going to watch. I don't know if he did or didn't, but that's just ridiculous.
It's wild, isn't it? Tell us a bit about your role in the show and like what your track looks like.
Mm-hmm. So I'm in the ensemble. I play a few characters. So most of Act One, I'm playing a clacker, which in the film they're called clackers because that's the noise that their heels make as they walk down the corridor, like the clack, clack, clack. So yeah, I'm a clacker. So we work at runway. That's kind of most of Act One. I'm in that role, and then we go into the Met Gala scene, which is The Devil Wears Prada. And then I become Aurora, who is the new favorite supermodel, which is very fun. And then in Act Two, like we play these like Parisian women models, and then we do a fashion show, so we're models. So it's very like, yeah, high fashion, work at runway, feel amazing, feel gorgeous, bit of modeling, those sort of characters. So my track, I'm quite lucky, I get to do a bit of everything. So I have some dance features, but I also get to sing some solo lines, which is unreal. Like standing on a
Okay.
West End stage and singing by myself, I'm like, oh, love it. So yeah, it's a lot of like big ensemble numbers, but not in terms of as full out dancing as say I did in Crazy for You. It is that very like catwalk, posing, strutting around kind of vibe. And we do have a couple numbers where we dance a bit more, but because of like the high heels that we're wearing, the fashion that we're wearing, they don't really accommodate to you doing like double pirouettes into a big kick and a leap or whatever. It's not that sort of show. It is just very fun. Full out in terms of energy, but yeah, you're not breaking your back for it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a bit different as well. It allows you to, it's just completely different for Crazy for You. So
Yeah, totally different. Yeah.
it's nice. Remember when you came in to teach and you said that you were like in an audition, that you can't announce it yet, but that you were gonna be doing it. And I just went, it's Devil Wears Prada, everyone. And your face just went like in your head, were you like, how did she guess?
Oh, it was so funny because yeah, literally I got the job in December last year. Like I'd already been in the workshop in January, but you know there was this, oh, you can't say anything, obviously, as with most jobs, but we didn't end up announcing it I think until like June. So it was, yeah, all this time that I had to keep it quiet. But obviously I feel like this always happens. They always say don't tell anyone, but the whole industry knows probably who the whole cast is before it gets announced. Like,
Yeah.
well, just they go around, don't they?
I was just like, oh, I was like, it's Devil Wears Prada. And then when it came out, I was like, I knew
There it is.
it. It's so funny. So
Yeah,
what
because
would a day in your life look like at the moment? What's your routine?
so right now, this is my very first day that I have not had to be in rehearsals before the show. So this is the first day that I'm like on my normal schedule where I don't have to go into the building until 6 p.m. I think it is. Need to check the schedule actually. But it's been crazy busy right now, and we've been called in for rehearsals to say we did tech, we opened the show previews, we would still be called in like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock to do rehearsals on stage, to finesse things, change things. And then we'd have a break at 5 and then go get ready for the show, wig calls, makeup, and ready for a show at 7:30 or a matinee at 2:30. So it's kind of been a bit, I've been in the building a lot longer than I would normally be for the rest of the year. So I've just, my whole life is just kind of in the show right now. You know, we're all exhausted and we haven't really had time to do anything else. But yeah, currently I'm like subletting someone's room while they're on tour. And then I've got somewhere permanent from January. So right now I'm in like 20 minutes from the theatre, which is
That is
perfect.
amazing. So
Yeah,
good.
it's so good because it just means I get more time at home and then go in. But yeah, like on a day like today, I'm obviously talking with you this morning.
Yeah.
And I'll, like make some food in a bit, go to the gym,
Nice.
have a little swim, sauna, hot tub session. And
Yes.
I'll head to the theatre for probably about like 5:20ish because I like to do my makeup before warm up because I hate brushing my makeup. I can't do it quickly. So I just get there before, do as much as I can before. Then we'll have like 6 o'clock warm up. We'll do a physical warm up and a vocal warm up on stage with our dance captains and our musical director. And then we'll do like parish notices. So anything we need to know about the show, if different people are on tonight. If we need to rehearse anything, and then yeah, we'll go get our wigs on, get our mics on, get our costumes on, and then start the show at 7:30.
Amazing.
Super
And
exciting.
what is the Dominion like? Do you like
Oh
performing?
my god, it's huge. The stage is so big. It's the biggest stage that I've been on. It's bigger than the Gillian. I don't actually know how many seats. I think it's around 2,000.
Yeah,
So
I don't know why I was looking the other day, but it's one of the biggest theatres in the West End, along with like
yeah,
Theatre Drury Lane.
yeah, it's a category A theatre. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
huge.
big one. Yeah. But no, it's so good. It's just very wide.
Mm.
That's what I can say, is because there's only the stalls and then the circle. The upper circle is actually now turned into like a lighting. They don't use it as a auditorium anymore up there. I don't know why. I think they just changed it. So it's just very wide rather than tall, which is kind of nice. You don't have to play up too much. You can, yeah, you don't have to play right up and lift your head. But it's a really nice venue, and it's great to just come out of Tottenham Court Road Station and literally go straight into the building.
Easy.
It's so good. Yeah.
Really good. So besides your amazing Crazy for You, Devil Wears Prada, if you could do any show in the future, what would that be?
Oh, it was something I've always wanted to do is Chicago. I've always wanted to do that.
They've just done the tour. They've just done the tour cast and the European West End, no, UK tour and European tour. So there's two going on at the moment. So who knows? Do you think it will come back to the West End?
I think it's always around. That show, Cats, they're always on somewhere, aren't they? So I think, yeah, in a couple of years, I think it will definitely come back. So
yeah, surely. Well, who knows? You heard it here first, guys. Chicago. And if you could give your younger self a piece of advice, so say pitching out to people watching this podcast who haven't auditioned for drama colleges yet and want to go into the industry, what piece of advice would you give?
I think I would tell myself to stop comparing myself to everyone. I did that so much at college, and I think you just have to trust what you're good at. You really have to believe in yourself. And yeah, you know, we all have our different strengths and our different weaknesses, and everyone will get booked for what they are good at. So I think you just have to stay true to yourself, know what you're good at, really work on that, you know, obviously work on everything, but then when you go into a room, you just shine at what you really know you can do. So I think I would, just tell myself to believe in myself, ignore what everything else is going on, and just know that I can do it.
Lovely. The last question I always ask my podcast guests is if you could nominate someone to come on and impart their knowledge onto this podcast, and I'll reach out to them and try and get them to do an episode, who would it be?
Oh my God. You know who I would love to see on this podcast? Hannah Waddingham.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine if I got Hannah Waddingham on? I'm going to reach out.
She's an icon.
I'm going to reach out. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. Well, I don't know. She'll probably see my name in her inbox and go, ugh. She probably doesn't even check her own inbox.
She's in the musical theatre scene, so.
She is. Well, watch this space, people. Hannah Waddingham's coming on. Oh, well, thank you so much, Tara. I've loved chatting to you. I hope everyone listening has enjoyed. Have a lovely rest of your day. Have a nice relax now that you don't have to go in for rehearsal.
Thank you. I will do.
And we'll see you next week. Bye, Tara. Thank you.
Lovely to see you.